First off, I'm going to maximize this because it looked kind of homo. This boy put a chocolate bar into his mouth real slow after smiling at you. Hey, no disrespect. I'm sure y'all catch me off looking weird now and then, but this shit funny as hell. One thing that I find entertaining about this guy is like sometimes I don't know if he's telling the truth or lying. It just sounds like he's lying because some things seem outrageous. It may be true. I hope it is true. You dig? I'm all about showing love. I want to see people successful. I hope it is true that the Mars Corporation is supporting him. But this man is funny as hell. You dig? In a real way. And one thing I want to point out to you guys, for people who might hate on Andrew Tate or detract from him, never forget that people will understand your life through the limits of their life. Right? That's why I often tell you it's worth you to pay to get a consultation with me, because I could tell you how to make $1 million. Most people can't tell you how to do that. They can't even imagine it, right? So when you ask them for advice, they're not telling you advice on how to get it done. They're usually telling you how to be safe, how to save your money, how to not go broke, how to not take risk. They're telling you how to be like them, in other words, right? So they can't see things bigger than their reality. So people will watch this and say, he's not sponsored by the Mars Corporation. That's because they've never been able to do a deal on that scale, huh? I've been able to do big deals. So when I hear him say it, it's funny the way he said it, but it's possible. I know these things are possible, and I hope that is true. So shout out to him if it is. But for sure, he got on some tight ass jeans, look like they spandex. This man got on some denim leggings. He got a t-shirt tucked in. This man think he's a 1980s bouncer in Italy, and he's sticking a chocolate bar in his mouth. Lord, don't let any of us go out like this. Carrying on. This man said, This man said,
So talking to some bitch, and she's asking me,
Lord,
I'm never gonna grow up. I'm like, grow up? I'm 6'3", bitch.
Oh.
I'm grow up. I'm big and strong and rich as fuck. What do you mean grow up?
Oh.
I got a mansion.
Oh.
I got a supercar collection.
Oh.
People know my name. Talk about grow up.
Boss talk. See, this is what I like. I like to hear boss talk. Some people get intimidated by boss talk. You heard me? You start talking about them Bugattis. You start talking about them cars with the crazy doors. You talk the mansions. You talk in private flights. People get intimidated. Or they say, oh, you're a cocky a-hole. Are you really cocky, or are you just proud of what you've done? I'm proud of him. It's not even he's not talking about my belongings. He's talking about his belongings. I'm proud of him. I like to see people winning. You dig? That's just how players are. You heard me? If I show up in somebody fresh, man, I want to congratulate you. I see a beautiful world. And in fact, I find that my world is more beautiful when people are successful. I don't want to walk by a homeless guy saying, hey, mate, can you spare a few quid? Fuck no, I can't spare a few quid. You dig? I'd rather wipe my ass with it and throw it in the trash. Because be good to good people. I doubt you are a good person. What I teach you is make sure that you maximize goals in the areas of health, wealth, and relationships. If you're homeless, that means you definitely have failed on wealth. You definitely have failed on relationships. I've done enough good that people won't let me be homeless. If I had no money, somebody's going to let me crash their couch. You heard me? Or probably do better than that. So I'm happy to see this man being successful. Let's hear some more boss talk.
You're fucking 22. You didn't have fat titties. Who even talk to you? You never grow up. So no, but you just run around the world with your brother. They can take confidentials, just driving supercars, just being crazy. And you're gonna, grow up and settle down. Growing up and settling down are not the same thing. Settling down is what happens when a man loses.
Shout out to the Saint. He says he wants to support the work. You can use the hashtag here, which is hashtag Marquette, MARQUETT, or you can come in by PayPal, and that's in the description below, marquetteb@gmail.com. Carrying on, let's see what Tate has to say. So far, truth be told, there's been some boss talk, but there hasn't been any insight. So say I'm a young man or even a mature man. I'm sitting at home, I'm watching this video, and I want to get inspired. There might be a little bit of inspiration, but if I want some strategy, some education, something useful in terms of mindset or tactics, I haven't got any of that yet, so I'm still kind of yearning for that. So let's hear if he gets into a little bit of game.
This is lust for life. Settling down for a man who thinks he's found the best he could possibly ever have. And it's worth sacrificing all of the adventure in his existence to retain.
This is the first piece of game he said. Can we get a round of applause? just give Tate a round of applause. Thank you. This is the first piece of game he said, and it's so true. He says settling down for a man means that you believe what you're stopping and pausing at is better than all of the adventure that you could have at that point in time, which is true. A lot of people ask me on a regular basis, are you going to have any kids? And I'm always thinking like, I'm James Bond out here. You dig? Like, I wouldn't trade in my life for anybody's life. I fly around the world. I book the flight the day before. I do what I want in the city. I have a good time. Beautiful restaurants, beautiful women, nice cars. Why would I stop doing that? There's literally nothing better than that. I'm doing what every guy wants to do. You dig? So he's right. When you settle down, you're basically saying what I have right here is better than anything I could do. Now, here's the problem. Well, I guess not the problem. Here's the reality. The reason a lot of guys settle down is because settling down with this one chick and having some kids, that's probably the best thing that they could do over the next 10 years because they haven't built up the opportunities through focusing on building good relationships, building wealth, and building health. They haven't done that. So settling down with this fat broad who cooks sloppy joes and looks like a sloppy joe, that's the best thing they can do. So that makes sense. Thank you very much, Andrew Tate. Carrying on.
That's what settling down is. That's nothing to do with maturity. Nothing to do with growing up. I'm very grown. I just don't want to sit with you and watch fucking Netflix when I can drive supercars through mountains with my brother. I'd rather go down the mountain pass in my 765 LT with my brother.
So he has a good point. I agree. You don't want to waste too much of your time on leisure or being idle, i.e. he says Netflix. I just mentioned video games. I think they're both very damaging to the male spirit. They're damaging to your ambition. They're wasteful of your time. It causes you to squander it. Now, shout out to Kevin. He writes via Cash App, video game rant was funny, but also true. Oh, indeed, Peace of Saints. And sometimes the truth will make you laugh. Sometimes it'll piss you off. But the real ones can take it in and say, you know what, Quet, you're right. And I want to improve my life, get to the next level. Another thing I want to point out to you guys is that Tate says, I'd rather drive supercars with my brother. You see, I pretty much didn't have a peer on my level, age or maturity wise. So a lot of what I had to do on my own. Tate had a great advantage in having a brother who's similar in age. It's like being able to clone yourself and have a partner that you can work with who you can have complete trust with because you share blood and theoretically they're not going to betray you. So that makes things a lot easier. When I think about how much faster I could accumulate wealth, women, and all of the good things in life, if I had a brother, it would be just unreal. And that's why I'm deeply thankful for the good friends that I've made at this stage in life. And that's something I had to be really focused on because unlike Tate, who had a father who had a very high IQ chess master, has a brother who seems to be reasonably intelligent, fit, and, capable. Your boy came out of the mud and I had to build everything myself from scratch. And that's why when I give you game, I'm giving you game based on, hey, you're starting from nothing. You're starting from zero. Tate can't really talk about that because he doesn't know what that's about. He doesn't know what the mud is about. You heard me? But he could tune in and get a little bit of this ism. You heard me? Go ahead and shoot him the link. Get him on game. Carrying on.
Then sit next to you watching bullshit. That does not make me any less mature than a pussy ass dude who would do that thing. So she said,
give me a sec. My phone's ringing.
Well, my friend's husband, when he got married, he stopped blah, blah, blah. And this is the problem with the world today. Low value men. I tried to explain this to her, and by the end of it, she kind of understood.
All right, we're back. So, for example, we see something beautiful here. Shout out to the men who are prosperous, you dig, and feel abundance. Baller alert. Don Hill writes, did you ever have mentors for any of your businesses? Do you recommend? Absolutely. I always tell you guys to get experts. Always. Anytime you can talk to someone who's in advance of you, they've walked down the road, they can say, hey, youngin, there's a pothole right there. There's a booby trap right there. That is going to allow your road to be less of a toll on you emotionally, financially, and otherwise. So I highly recommend you get some expert advice, especially when it comes to business, because the truth is that business is a complex sport and you can save yourself losing your shirt by getting good advice. And I always have mentors in my business, and some of my business mentors I still talk to this day. And by the way, it turns out that when you meet a man who's made millions of dollars, enough money that he can give out money as an investor, generally you find that they're more successful in all areas of life. You dig? And these are men you want to keep good relationships with. So I highly recommend you do what it takes to position yourself around these folks. Someone writes, he claims he grew up poor as hell. I don't believe it. No, that I don't believe it. Carrying on. Tommy writes, since I follow the ism so heavily, I've noticed that people think the ism is too extreme or harsh. I feel like a fish out of water sometimes. Any advice? Well, the truth is that when you are a certain way, when you tell something to an average person, they won't be able to understand it. They're average. They won't be able to identify with it. And what people do is this. I'll give you an example. This is what average human beings do. If you were in Las Vegas and you talk to what are called locals and you ask them about the strip, like, hey, how do you like the strip? They always say, oh, quote, I stay away from the strip. Why do they do that? Because on the Las Vegas strip, it's very expensive. You have the finest restaurants, and even the crummy restaurants are very expensive because you have a lot of tourists. So when people say, I stay away from the strip, they act like it's a merit, but the reason they really do it is because they don't have a lot of money. So they stay away from the strip because they don't want to go broke eating at the expensive venues that have the prices jacked up. But will they ever tell you the truth and say, I can't afford to spend a lot of time on the strip? No, they'll never tell you that. I'm on the strip all the time. Why? Because I like to eat at the finest restaurants, which are on the Las Vegas Strip. And the restaurants are so fine, we're talking about all the best stuff you want to see. Mr. Chow's, Giada's, Sinatra's, like Lakeside at Wynn. I can name 30 of these restaurants. These are the restaurants where the celebrities eat. These are the restaurants with the celebrity chefs. These are the restaurants you see on television. And often when I'm there, they even have the chef there. Sometimes they do like special events. So I say that to say this. The average person is a liar, and they're also in denial. They're in denial. So if you tell someone you should be working out every single day with no days off, they're going to say, is that healthy? Yeah, it's healthy if you want to be a fucking machine and a savage, but it's unhealthy if you want to be a soft ass bitch. Yeah, if it's unhealthy in that case, because your muscles are going to be sore and you're still going to work out more. Yeah, in that case, it's unhealthy if your goal is to be weak. These people are living in an alternate universe. Here's the thing, though. A lion doesn't need to impress antelope and monkeys. A lion only needs to impress other lions. In fact, a lion doesn't need to impress anybody. If you're the king of the jungle, who the fuck does the king need to impress? Everyone else is subject to you. So at the end of the day, a lot of times you don't even need to have all these superfluous conversations. Let your example be observed in your conduct. When I'm out, like, for example, I was at breakfast earlier today. I'm always watching. I'm watching everything. And I'm always listening as well. Everyone's talkative. And I always think to myself, how is it that I'm running 5 businesses and I don't have as much to say as you guys? You have so much to fucking talk about and you guys are broke as fuck. I'm running 5 businesses and I don't have shit to say. It's because I'm thinking. You need time alone with yourself. You need time to think, figure out what your moves are, and then you have to repeat the move in your head so you can execute. These dumb bastards are just babbling meaningless conversation. And that is why they're in poverty. And then you know what? I'm happy they're in poverty because they deserve to live in poverty because it's a choice. If you live in the West and you're broke for a good reason because you don't want to get the fuck out of that poverty. I hope you die in it. I apologize. It's not very nice. I'm probably going to get banned soon for that. It's terrible. Sorry. Tommy, you sent me over the edge. He sent me over the edge. Melvin writes, peace to the Saints from Canada. Interesting critique. If by interesting you mean highly accurate, I appreciate that. Donovan writes, someone in the chat recommends the Psychosphere interview at 3220 for women, 5145 about apology relationship. God damn, that's a lot to recommend. I don't know if we have time like that. We actually already have 2 other videos lined up. And I would go through these, and I'm going to star this just in case we have time. I don't think we have time. I actually got to catch a flight, to be honest with you. I got to catch a flight. And I did post this for the members on the member website. You guys had the opportunity to send in your recommendations. So I did post this in advance. So I don't have time to go through at the moment. But I do appreciate that. And thank you very much for that support, Donovan. Thank you for being a great moderator as well. Carrying on. Via PayPal, Bence writes, the Saints would always offer their help if you would be down bad. I appreciate that. And I know a lot of you are real ones. He writes, you have went to great lengths for us. Real talk. Precise timing, though. I am abroad, Germany, from UK, when the big homie touched down. Peace to the Saints. Shout out to Benson. Ben's been supporting the work for a long time. You know, I got a Hungarian shorty. She told me that you have a Hungarian name. Is that correct? This is a common name in Hungary. Do you know? Are Hungarians Slavic? They're not Slavic, right? You don't know? Oh, come on now. Come on now. Shout out to Black Thanos. He writes, I hope you visit UK, bro. Much love. I'm in UK. I'm actually leaving the UK right now. You dig? I do want to move around to some other cities next time I'm in UK. London's been aight. It's been aight. You know, it hasn't been extraordinary.
And it broke her heart because by the time she understood it, she realized, shit. My Disney fairy tale idea of finding the perfect man at the right time and him settling down isn't real. Because perfect men never settle down. Because perfect men don't have to settle down. If you're a low-value man, you have to give everything about yourself to try and inspire loyalty from a female. So no man wants...
See, this is one of the more insightful things that he says. He's basically saying that weaklings, squares, not that all squares are weaklings, but, you know, weaklings, a man in a weak position, he has to do a deal with a female. I really want you to understand this from a P's perspective. A P doesn't do any deal. If you're a female and you're working for me, you're giving me 100% of your money. If you make $100, that means I made $100. You're going to hand over all of it to me, not a penny less. You heard me? There is no deal. There will never be a deal. We don't need to negotiate. We don't need to think about it. I want it all. And I don't have to compromise with you because I'm a P, which is to say a man of respect. If you're a square, you got to negotiate with the girl. Oh, you know, we'll split it 50-50. I take 60, you take 40, or you take 60, I take 40. You got to negotiate. When you're in a position of power, you dictate. Go ahead and quote the big homie on that. Somebody DM that to me on Instagram. When you're in a weak position, you negotiate. When you're in a strong position, you dictate. Oh, I like that. Do you like that? Your boy like Putin out here. You dig? For example, Putin said, Ukraine, I feel like part of Ukraine is actually Russia. I think I'll take it. He didn't negotiate it. He didn't ask for permission. He said, hey, call up my goons. Send them in. Yeah. You don't have to make deals. You just do what you're going to do, and they're going to respect it. Huh? And Putin was real. Remember, what you might have forgot, when they invaded Ukraine, he stated, if anyone interferes militarily, they will experience something the likes of which they have never seen in their history, which is super grimy. That's a statement. If I was in office, I would have bombed them just for saying something that wild. I would have bombed them because I would have felt disrespected just by that statement being so gangster. But the point is that he wouldn't have said that if I was in office. You heard me. He wouldn't have said that. But moreover, the point is this. He made the threat. He did what he did. Nobody did anything because he dictates. Huh? And all these lies that they said about taking him out of office and the ruble's going to decline, none of these came to fruition. When you're strong, you need to act strong. You dig? When you're tall, you shouldn't act small. Carrying on. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. Tate then finally dropped some game. Now, does he drop it as beautifully as the poetic speech of none other than Marquette Devon Burton? No. He ain't got bars like that. Nah. Not at all. Tommy writes, sorry for sending you over the edge. I just love your rawness and strength. Too many people these days are soft and fake. Oh, yeah. And you know, you have to be thankful. Me as a winner, when I see a loser, I'm disgusted, but I'm also thankful. I'm thankful when I see losers because, hey, somebody got to lose. You dig? Just like when I go and use a toilet, somebody got to clean it. I won't be the one. I'd rather you clean it. So losers serve a meaningful function in this world. Let us be thankful for the toilet cleaners of this world. You dig? Yeah, and mind you, there's nothing wrong with cleaning the toilet. Nothing wrong with hard work. But I'd rather be the one like using it than cleaning it. Huh? Trevor writes, 5 a.m. here where I am, but I had to step and support the work. I appreciate that. He writes, I appreciate all you do for the assassin, Mr. Burton. Thank you very much. And, sometimes we all feel underappreciated, and that's why we have such a beautiful community, where we can, as men, support one another. So thank you very much for that. Baller alert. Jamal writes, first of all, how are you? I'm doing fantastically well. I'm in high spirits. I feel very strong. He writes, I'm just tuning in. Did you discuss hands? No, I didn't discuss hands yet, and my understanding is that Andrew has some good hands, and that is certainly something that makes me respect any man. He writes, I asked because he has recently challenged Jake Paul for $3 million, and he is a former kickboxing champ. We all know that kickboxers, MMA guys, their hands, which is to say their stand-up fighting from the shoulders, is not as good as boxers. It's very clear. But in terms of grit and toughness, kickboxers, MMA guys, they have great grit, determination, and strong chins, which is to say it's hard to knock them out, generally speaking. So if he is able to leverage his height, which is pretty solid, he's 6'3", and he's able to improve his boxing skills, I think he can do pretty well. And I don't think he's going to go easy. I think he's going to go hard. So it will be a good fight. I'll certainly get some seats for it. And I really hope they do it in Saint City. You dig? And if they do it in Saint City, they both better come tap in with the big homie. He writes, I'm curious to know what a pugilist thinks of his skills. Well, I just stated it. So thank you for that question, Saint. Yes, indeed. I'd definitely go watch that one. It'd be a good fight. I think that both of them would be very brave to take on that fight. And I think both of them would be at tremendous risk, in as much as Tate is a 3-time champion from what I've heard in kickboxing. I don't follow kickboxing, obviously. That being the case, if you lose to a YouTuber, that's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? Isn't it? Bit embarrassing, isn't it? So then you have Jake Paul. He has less to lose because he's just a random ass white kid, right? That's kind of how like real fighters look at him. So if he loses, it's like, whatever. We don't look at him as like a dog. Like if you want to look up a great white fighter, look at Mickey Ward. That boy was a goon. That's one of my favorite fighters. Not for his skill, just because he's an animal. You heard me? He's a goddamn animal. Anthony writes, you've been dropping controversial content for a minute, so I find it funny how Tate's surface level controversial opinions can be so popular in a short amount of time. Appreciate the game, big homie. Peace to the Saints. You know what? I think part of it is, number one, they've done some clever things in terms of marketing. He has, he's running his as a business. I'm running mine as a cause. You heard me? Like, I have a cause. I have a 3-sentence Bible. Be yourself, be good to yourself, be good to good people. I have a cause. I have a philosophy. So there's a lot more depth here. And in as much as he's been running it as a business, he's taken some business acumen to it, which I respect. And so he's allowing people to use referral links and for them to get paid by reselling his content. Now, in my case, I don't have a primary source of income from the internet, so I haven't put so much effort into it, number one, and I should, and I will. And then number two, the second piece is I find it to cheapen the product when you commercialize it at that level. You have so many people reselling it and they're talking about things that they don't quite know well. It's kind of a bit distasteful, but you're right. At the end of the day, the ism does need to be spread, and so I will take this as a good indication that we need to get to work. You dig? So thank you very much.
Just sit home and watch Netflix. No man wants to not roll with his boys. No man wants to be monogamous. No man wants to do these things. But the only way
he said, no man wants to be monogamous. Do you believe that? Do you know what monogamous is? Monogamous means that you are a man and you just want to be with one woman for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Like, so you're with that woman, you only deal with her. Mm-hmm. Do you think that any man wants to just be monogamous?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Maybe it's just like half of the percent of the men in the world.
Half of them might want to be monogamous?
No, half of the percent. Like.
Oh, 0.5%.
Yeah.
So not even 1% wants to be monogamous. Fair enough. Mm-hmm. Can you be with a man who's not monogamous to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But you'll be monogamous to him?
It depends. I don't have to.
You say you don't have to?
Mm-hmm.
What if he says, look, you're monogamous to me, mm-hmm. meaning you can only have me, mm-hmm. but I could have a couple other women?
Nah, that's not fair.
That's not. She says it's not fair. That's how they be out here, Saints. That's how they be. That's how they be. Carrying on.
try and hope his female is loyal to him is if he's with her every day and he doesn't cheat and he pretends to enjoy the trips to IKEA on the weekend on his only day off. Yeah, I think those curtains, yeah, maybe, well, they're yellow and the couch is yellow. No man wants that.
You know what? I think there's a small percentage of men who have such low levels of testosterone that they seem to enjoy that life. I don't know. Maybe they're just pretending. I couldn't call it. But yeah, I'd rather stab myself in the eyeball personally. That's just me.
Low value man. The only way you can possibly hope that the chick you're with doesn't end up getting fucked by me is to sit there and do all that shit. That's what you have to do. Because you want your female to be loyal. Every man...
I just want to break some news to you guys real quick. If you do everything your woman wants, if she doesn't see you as the ultimate guy that she wants to be with, if you're not some sort of a god to her, she's susceptible to cheating on you. Doesn't matter how cooperative you are. So don't get confused into thinking you can be the right guy for her. Nah. She already assessed that off the rip. When she first laid eyes on you, she assessed if you're the one. And if you're not the one, like the superhero guy to her, nah, she might cheat on you. Shout out to Ivan via Cash App. He writes, would you consider making a daily assassin workout? If by that you mean share my daily workout routine, I already have that on patreon.com/the Saint in the Center. It's called morning workout. And so that's the workout that I do every day. And obviously I do variations, and a lot of guys who have come to the workouts, you've been a part of the burpees, the jump rope, the running, all those different things that we do. But the morning workout is my ab work and the stretching and all those good things, the curls, the weights, etc. Now, let me know if I got that wrong. I don't know if you mean like going live during a workout or something else, do advise me. And thank you to the folks who are, showing support. I appreciate it. Go ahead and bang that like button if you just came in the door. You dig? Carrying on.
Out there knows they want their female to be loyal. It's a biological, evolutionary, hardwired trait of masculinity that you want your female to be loyal to only you. Look at the Islamic world, or look at the third world. Females get in big trouble for not being loyal. Every man wants a loyal female, right? So low value men have to give up basically their entire existence to inspire loyalty from a female. And what I was trying to explain to this bitch is this.
And he's right. He's basically pointing out the fact that guys are trying to do deals. Just like the young lady here says, yeah, if I'm loyal to him, he has to be loyal to me. Basically, she believes in equality. So if she's being monogamous to you, you got to be monogamous to her. You know what I mean? She thinks you're equal, you're the same. So basically, a square has to do a deal with her so that he can get that kind of loyalty. So he's sacrificing all his opportunity and his true nature, and he's actually behaving within the female nature. It get like that. Shout out to Pete. He sends in tuition via Cash. I truly appreciate it. Carrying on.
I don't have to do that. You've been loyal to me for 3 years. I see you once a month. You cry over me every night. I ain't taking you fucking anywhere. I ain't missed a single day of having...
Hey, shout out to that. He said, I ain't taking you anywhere. Praise the Lord. One thing that kills me about women, especially like the wrong kind of women, is that they always want to go somewhere. They want to go on a trip here. They want to go on a vacation here. They want to go to this event. They want to go to this club. They want to go to this party. That's the strongest indication that the girl has low IQ, because an intellectual can sit and have conversation with you, and they can enjoy the intellectual stimulation from good quality conversation, or they can build a business with you, or they can work and collaborate with you, help you create something. And that itself is a pleasure. But if you can't enjoy a walk in the park with your man as a woman, that's really not the man you want to be with. If you can't sit in silence without saying anything and enjoy that time, that peace, that's not the man you're meant to be with. Or you're just a club rat. You're a shade tree harlot who needs to constantly be on the scene, just like guzzling attention from random strangers. You're a low individual. You dig? And if you find that you're around a chick like that, you should dip. Shout out to Gary. He writes, first tuition, appreciate the game always. Hey, shout out to the real ones, and shout out to the men doing something new. When you do new things, you get new outcomes. It's a good practice. Thank you very much, Gary. Welcome to the fold of men who stand on all 10, pay what they owe. Appreciate you.
Fun. I haven't grown up for 10 seconds to keep your ass. You know why? Because I'm a big G. Because there's no other kickboxing world champion, athlete, retired, multi-millionaire with diamond watches and fucking supercars running around who's gonna fuck you with me. If you want to...
Oh! So he basically told this chick what Ye told him. He said, there's 1,000 yous, there's only one of me. Oh, that's so true. Now, why is it that every broad has such high self-esteem? It's like they think that they're like a celebrity when they're not. It's weird. It's like every average girl you meet in the society, I've even encountered this in Britain, is that they think they're all like very valuable when they're not. It's amazing. Strange. Moreover, I personally like my watches simple. You heard me? I feel like from a style standpoint, you might throw some diamonds on the neck, but I like the watches simple. I think that's just like my experience as a businessman. You dig? You know, when you go into corporate, you don't wear the diamond watch. It's not quite proper. You dig? You know, I did throw a few diamonds in this one. This one is a custom handmade, one of one, none before, none to come. I made it ultra minimalist. You dig? We don't even have a seconds hand. There's no second hand on there. There's just the minutes and the hours. You heard me? Because at the end of the day, I'm not a track coach. I don't need to look at seconds, right? Carrying on.
Fucking with me is a downgrade. You know it and I know it. So you have a choice. You either get once a month with the Ferrari or every day with the Nissan. And you made your choice. You chose the Ferrari. That's what you decided to do. That's why you'll never cheat on me. That's why you'll be loyal to me. Because you're not going to let some loser come fuck you. Every other man's a loser.
I think this is incorrect. And this is one of the things that shows me that Tate probably did not grow up around African Americans, because the game is missing major parts. So one thing that the African American coming from the low income knows, that there's a level of sauce that you pour that sauce in front of any female, you hear me, she gonna want a taste of it. And he's basically talking like a trick, which is to say, I got the Bugatti, I got the diamond watch. All he did was identify his material possessions that he has and say, well, you're going to be loyal to me based on my wealth. The truth is, especially spiritual men, we all know that everything can be taken from you except your attitude. They can take your cars, your wealth, your bank accounts, your home, take your loved ones away from you. But your mind and your attitude cannot be taken, your personality, the sauce. And it is that sauce that'll get your broad swapped, get your broad snatched, you dig? So dun-dun-dun-dun, swooper, man. I'm pretty sure I could take Tate's bitch, because I could tell his game ain't tight in a real way. He over here talking about he keeping the hoe with the watch. I highly doubt that. He doesn't understand females. Carrying on.
True or false? You said, well, yeah, compared to you, they are. But...
False! False! Carrying on.
No, but you've been fucked by the boss. You want to be fucked by them. I don't even have to try and make you be loyal. You have enough of a brain to look at me and realize anyone after me is nothing but a downgrade. There's nowhere for you to go, bitch.
See, here's an error in his game. He's looking at it, projecting male logic onto a female. Females are moved by the heart. They're moved by love. You dig? So you could have a female who deals with a very wealthy man, and then she deals with a pauper, someone in poverty, and she could be just as happy, because in her delusion, she can find things that she likes about that guy. She can find things that she hated about you. She could even make them up in her head. So a woman being led by the heart, not logic, is not the money that's going to keep her. Even though you guys think that every chick is a gold digger, it's simply not true. And in fact, when you look at a lot of these chicks who might appear to be gold diggers, they have a baby by some guy who's fucking broke. You dig? Let's talk about it. Carrying on. Yeah. This high level game, you heard me? Hey, have him tap in with some of this ism and some of this real pimping.
So with that in mind, why the fuck am I going to give up my life when I can get your loyalty anyway? The only kind of girl who I can't get instant loyalty from is a complete hoe. And guess what? A complete hoe, even if I gave up everything for her, would eventually continue down the path of being a complete hoe.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's pretty obvious. I'll give you guys a little bit of time to send in your questions, your opinion, your tuition as we wind down here. Somebody writes, Walmart dude might have the sauce. Oh, in a real way. Oh, absolutely. And especially if he's from LA, he might know how to talk that talk. You dig? Anthony writes, heard London got some of the thickest. Please confirm or deny. Peace of the Saints. You know what? I've seen some work out here. I've not been impressed with the faces as much as I would have hoped. So there's that. That hurts my heart to see it. But I've seen some serious wagon. They dragging some wagon out here. So yeah, it's there. It's not there in a preponderance that, it's not there in any greater number than I would see elsewhere. because London's a big city, so it's highly populated. So you're gonna see a little bit of everything. It's alright. Ivan, I think I already got to your Cash App. I think you might not have heard the response, but yes, I did hit your Cash App. Saint writes, I'm from London. Girls aren't that special here. I can dig it. Give you guys a little bit of time, and then we are going to go ahead and shut it down. I actually had a couple more videos of Tate's that I wanted to review. If you think I should do a part 2, send your super chat or your super thanks and let me know. We might get it cooked up. Peace to the lady saints, you dig? Especially when they looking kind of fine. Hop in your boys' DMs. Let me put my Instagram here for everybody. Oh, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, you're messing up, because I'd actually gotten banned recently on YouTube, and they lifted it. So that was a blessing. But if I get banned, you won't know, because I won't be able to let you know I'm banned. I won't be able to post on the community tab or upload any content. So I highly recommend you follow me at Instagram.com/MarquetteDevon if you don't already, just in case your boy disappear. I'll get you back linked up.